What's up, guys? Welcome back to the CraftTender. My name's Jeremiah, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about 4 ways to enjoy your bourbon. So I've got a special treat for you guys today. So we're here at Red Table in Huntington Beach, and we're gonna bring on Miguel Rodriguez from Duke Spirits. He's the head mixologist, sales manager, and a hell of a better dresser than me. So Miguel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see, where do I start? I've been in the restaurant business for 22 years before I jump onto the other side, which is selling booze.
So Miguel, tell me a little bit about the background of Duke's.
A good friend of mine who is the founder of 100 Acre Winery, Layer Cake Winery, Cherry Pie Winery, together with Ethan Wayne, who is John Wayne's youngest son. Ethan Wayne found the notes and these bottles in a warehouse amongst pictures, memorabilia. Actually, his dad's Oscar, the one and only Oscar he won, was in this warehouse. They got together a few years ago and decided to honor John Wayne himself by making Duke Bourbon to the way his dad, John Wayne, would have liked it.
So in my opinion, why I love this line, this brand so much is because unlike a lot of other whiskey brands out there that are backed by a celebrity, there's lineage here where they're paying a lot of homage and respect, and they're trying to honor a guy like John Wayne with all those accolades, and they're actually not hiding behind phony flavorings in bourbon. Like, they're playing directly to the spirit. I think there's a lot of pride in leaving a legacy for him. So that's why I'm really excited to get into this bourbon with you today, man.
I'm excited too.
Let's talk about a few very basic ways to drink bourbon. You have neat and on the rocks. The first way we're gonna cover is we're gonna talk about drinking neat bourbon. Now, typically the person who's gonna be a bourbon drinker, they don't like a lot of fluff, and more often than not, they want something that's going to be flavored. That's why they don't cater to vodka. Bourbon drinkers drink something that resonates with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so straight to the point. So walk us through the best ways to drink Duke's Neat. Help us understand, when you are enjoying straight bourbon, what are they smelling? What are they going through from your perspective?
First of all, you gotta smell it. You gotta make sure that the aromas are there, that you're really gonna enjoy what you're about to drink. So if you smell your glass, the first thing you get is a little bit of sweetness.
Right.
Almost fruity on the nose, a little bit like, if you ever had a barbecue where you're burning peaches, and you see the aromas that something, not sugar burn, but something natural sugar like
the
peaches and
caramelization.
plum, the caramelization going on. That's kind of what I get on the glass.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of black cherries as well going on in there. And I definitely get some of the burn from the cedar from the actual barrels. And then when I enjoy it, I don't typically do a shot, not anymore anyway. And so I take small sips. And when you're taking the small sips, you really want to, just like you would do with wine, you want to get a little bit of air going on so that you can really enjoy the same aromas. Now, on this particular whiskey, I do get a little bit of the sweetness, but it's not syrupy sweet. It's nice and balanced. It mellows out.
Right.
And even though it's 88 proof, as it's going down, you feel no burn, absolutely.
Right, I noticed that. We take a step back for a second. In your opinion, why would somebody choose bourbon over, let's say, Scotch or any of the Japanese varieties of whiskey out there?
It really becomes a personal preference. All whiskeys are not created equal. It really becomes of what you enjoy. If you like something a little more smoky, although not always, you tend to gravitate towards Scotch. If you want something a little crisper, in my opinion, you navigate towards the Japanese whiskeys, which, due to the water, are a little crisper. If you want a little sweeter, you gravitate towards Irish whiskeys, which in my opinion are a little bit sweeter.
I couldn't agree with you more. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the whole rocks drinking process, why someone would want to drink it on the rocks, and which one of these labels is probably the best to have on the rocks.
There's different reasons why will somebody want it. Number one, because you want to have it a little bit cooler than room temperature. But number two, as the ice starts melting, the water starts mixing with the whiskey, and it brings out different aromas, number one, that you don't get when it's just by itself. But number two, it is a lot more pleasant as it's going down.
Right, and as you mentioned earlier, you guys, this is a pretty high proof spirit. So getting a little bit of dilution in here, again, makes it just a little bit more approachable on the palate, and I think you get less of a burn in the back of the throat. I don't like to put too much ice in, most whiskeys, especially that are high proof, because I think when you overly dilute it, you just lose so much of that profile.
Yeah, you want to enjoy the whiskey and you want to enjoy the best way that you can do it. And if you do a lot of ice, then you're going to have a cocktail eventually.
Well, there you have it. Whiskey on the rocks. Now that we've talked about two very common, very basic ways to enjoy your bourbon, we're gonna step into a little bit of the two most popular ways to drink this as a cocktail. And today, Mr. Rodriguez is gonna show you guys how to make a rendition of the whiskey sour, the smoked Duke Sour. So basically 2 ounces of bourbon, about a ½ ounce of citrus lemon juice. Gotta have the citrus, otherwise you can't technically call it a sour. Exactly 1 egg white. And if you notice, he's dry shaking here. Dry shaking is the technique where you don't put any ice in. You dry shake first to get a lot of air into the mixture. Make sure it's nice and emulsified, and then you shake over ice. Pied la resistance. And you'll notice he's making sure to catch all that egg white that he spent so much time shaking. You want to make sure you get as much of that foam into the cocktail. So for garnish, aromatic bitters, usually Angostura, and an atomizer. So what Miguel's doing here is he's smoking the cocktail with cherrywood smoke. Probably one of the most interesting ways to garnish this cocktail.
It's butterfly pea tea and lotus flower that has been infused in it. So what it does is when it interacts with citrus, it changes the color of the drink. It is a great way to enjoy a whiskey for the first time, but it's also a good way for a savvy whiskey connoisseur to enjoy whiskey in a different way than just straight up.
Whiskey sour, probably one of the most popular ways to drink this cocktail. And coming up next, we're definitely gonna shoot the old fashioned. This is a coffee cinnamon old fashioned. Now, I'm gonna pay homage to the Duke's Grand Cru Founder's Reserve, and I'm gonna make an old fashioned for you today. We're gonna start 2 dashes Angostura bitters, and then another 2 dashes of orange bitters. Exactly ½ an ounce coffee cinnamon simple syrup, and 2 ounces of Founder's Reserve Grand Cru. We're gonna strain in over ice. Garnish with 1 Luxardo cherry. So there you have it, guys. 4 ways to enjoy your bourbon. Let us know which way to drink your bourbon you like the most and why you like it that way. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.